Everything's frozen on my end.
Oh yeah?
I think maybe it's working now. Maybe it's not.
Now
Uh,
you're kind of choppy, but then again, I'm maybe just looking at myself through my own feed here. Well, I
right.
just got
No.
the notification in yeah, it's not showing me though.
What's not showing you?
The feed, the live. Oh, there I am. Okay.
I seem to be actually having some computer problems that I think are bogging things down. For some reason, my whole computer really slowed down. So I'm going to try to resolve that on my end. But
Did you go
you might need to
live
run me.
early?
What?
Hang on.
We are live now.
Yeah, but I think you may have went live before you meant to.
I don't think so. Why do you ask? Hello?
Hello. I'm sorry. What?
Hi.
Hi.
Why do you think we went live early?
I don't know, man. I'm like, you know me. I can't do two things at the same time.
Cool. So the stream is a little bit weird today.
Yes.
It like the stream itself for me inside of Restream is super laggy. So I can hear you, but like the visual is way behind for some reason. And I don't know if that's the case for the people that are watching as well. Actually, dude, could you just do me a favor? I'm going to close down all my extra programs and all my extra tabs and find out why my computer's being laggy. But in the meantime, would you just check the live stream and like mute yourself out on Restream for a minute and check the live stream on Facebook and just see whether it's synced up or whether it looks like Restream may be running into some problems on its own.
I was looking on Facebook and it looks pretty good. You're a little choppy, but mine seems to be, just kind of, that's what was distracting me was when I was looking at that live.
Got it. All right.
At least in email marketing. Yeah. We seem to be looking pretty good.
Okay, great. I don't know what's going on. Weird computer issues. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We had a crazy live stream yesterday. Like right before the call, Joshua and I were talking a little bit about Myers-Briggs, and I was like, "Oh, I bet people would really like to talk about that."
And you were right.
Yeah, I did. Clearly, it was an area of interest, and that was very exciting. And so, we're going to talk a little bit about the Myers-Briggs conversation yesterday, I'm sure. Well, I keep on getting distracted by Joshua's hypnotic bubbles.
I can turn them off.
But there were many cool assessment tools that were brought up, most of which I've heard of before, but some of which I hadn't, and some of which I was reminded of that I hadn't checked out before. And so we decided we'd take today to talk about a assessment tool that has been really helpful for me, for Joshua, and for many of our entrepreneurial colleagues over the years. Yeah, that's so much less distracting. Just kidding. No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. I think you should definitely get as much attention as you want.
Okay, now you just guilted me into it here. Now we're gonna.
You know what would be cool? It would be cool to have a green screen, like if you had a wall behind you that was super cool, whether it's books or whatever is on the wall, but then be able to like pull a cord and lift the green screen up so you could switch in like a
scenes.
Well, no, so you could go from green screen to a regular background by like pulling a cord or something. Right?
They make them. They're like a screen, like a retractable screen, but with a green screen on it, so you can pull it up and pull it down. And
and that totally makes sense.
I don't have one, but I still need to film some stuff that I need a green screen for, and I haven't done it yet. So it's now permanently set up in my old school ways.
Nice. So, So first of all, everyone, have you ever taken the Kolbe Index A? Is this something that's new to you, or is it something that you've seen before? The Kolbe Index A, KOLBE.com, created by Kathy Kolbe. I was introduced to it probably first by Joe Polish, and then more deeply with Dan Sullivan and Strategic Coach. How about you, Joshua?
Same thing. As a matter of fact, it was entirely through when Kathy Kolbe actually came into Joe's 25K group that I was first introduced to it. And oddly enough, I was really resistant to the Kolbe because I didn't understand what it all meant, and nobody could explain it to me clearly. But then when I joined Strategic Coach, and my coach Lee Broward was explaining like how he views it, and it just made so much sense to me then, and then I could make use of it and have it be something that was like useful.
That's right. Well, so let's talk a little bit about that today. So I guess first of all, we should probably reveal our Kolbe scores. And then we can talk about what each one of the buckets means. And I was actually trying to grab mine right before. I don't have them memorized.
I have yours up in front of me. Do you want me to look at yours?
Sure, that'd be great. So yeah, let's tell everybody what our Kolbe scores are, and then we can tell people how Kolbe works and how it measures things and what it tells you about yourself. And hopefully people will chime in and tell us what their Kolbe scores are too, and what they've gotten out of it when they've taken the Kolbe in the past.
Okay, so you're a 3-2-9-4.
Yep.
Fact Finder 3, Follow Through 2, Quick Start 9, and Implementer 4.
Yes, sounds about right. What about you?
And I am a 4-5-8-3. Fact Finder 4, Follow Through 5, Quick Start 8, Implementer 3.
Which also makes sense, right? I mean, it definitely, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I tell you what fascinates me is the way that what those numbers mean in terms of how we deal with each of those. Like, like Fact Finder is how you gather and share information, but my way of dealing with it at a 4, like the 4 doesn't mean anything. We have a tendency to say, well, the higher the number, the better the score, and it means something about you. And, one approach is better than another and all of that. And I think that's where I was getting frustrated right off the bat when I was that I couldn't understand when I took it with Joe's crew. And then I started to really dig into it, and my way of dealing with fact finding is to explain, and my way of following through is to maintain what I'm doing, to maintain course. And your way of dealing with fact finder is to simplify, and your way of dealing with follow through is to adapt. And it's how you organize. How you organize is just basically how you adapt. And so I'm gonna, organize and sort information by maintaining it and by, keeping on course. And and we are close on our quick starts, but how it shows up in our lives are different. You're a 9, I'm an 8, and so my way of quick start is to improvise. I'm quick to pull the trigger, but I'm okay improvising. And you're quick to pull the trigger too, and rather than improvising, you like to innovate when you pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. And like the implementator is how you handle space and tangibles. And I really don't get how that is tied to implementer, but okay. And your way of doing it is to restore. So I'm assuming that means something to do with like to recharge your batteries. I don't know. And mine being a 3 is my way of doing, and how I handle space and intangibles is to imagine. So I guess I'm just like, maybe that's why I'm such a visual person. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, interesting.
So so let's talk about the 4 categories, right? So like fact finder, right? So first of all, there are these 4, this is the way I understand it. We probably understand it a little bit differently, right? There is 4 basic buckets, as you've described: fact finder. What is it? Fact finder. Joshua.
Fact finder, follow through.
Follow through. I'm so low in follow through, I couldn't even remember it. Fact finder, follow through, quick start, and implementer, right?
Yep, correct.
So fact finders, people who are high in fact finder have a. Oh, you just disappeared, Joshua. Heads up. I don't know if you can hear me or see me anymore, but you just dropped off. So fact finders are fascinating because people who are high in fact finder are great researchers. They like to go out and learn lots of details about things before they get started on a project, really want to understand how everything works before jumping in. And they're great at it. They're great at bringing data and information together. People who are high in fact finder are their natural inquisitive minds want to go out and find out what's what and get the details straight, right, in order to make a decision and then move forward. So that's a fact finder, right? Follow through is someone who, for example, always gets all the dishes done right before going to bed at night. Crosses the T's, dots the I's. This is someone who gets an enormous amount of fulfillment and pleasure from completing projects, from getting things done, from bringing an idea or a project to completion. They're great project managers if they, they can be great project managers just on their detail-orientedness and their ability and interest in making sure that projects that get started do, in fact, get completed. And he's back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
That's weird. I don't know. It just showed me like I was still in there and it like you disappeared, but then I went and saw that you were still streaming on Facebook. Sorry about that.
That's right. That's right. So cool. Kevin just wrote you a message, Joshua. It says, I have to share that with you in private. I'm not quite sure what he's referencing there, but
yeah, I don't know either.
definitely keep it private. So I was talking about fact finders, and people who are high in fact finder are great at doing research, getting details, going out, finding out all the information, making sure it's accurate, laying the foundation. When they're working with things, they tend to make fewer mistakes because they take the time to really research everything properly and get the details down. People who are high in fact finder. One thing about fact finder though is that when you're really high in fact finder, it can be if you're not in the right team or not working with the right people, you can often be a procrastinator in terms of actually getting going. Right? You can get caught up in the research and get caught up in the gathering of information because you love it and then never actually do anything. And so this is why it's important to be paired up with and teamed up with people who are strong in the areas that you're weak, but who are also similar in the areas that you're strong so that you don't butt heads and argue all the time and have problems working together, right? So the second one is follow through, as we were saying, is people who are high in follow through generally love bringing projects to completion, whether it's doing the dishes or getting a new funnel launched or you know whatever happens to be. They are really, their mind is focused on getting that thing completed, getting the items checked off the list, getting it done, right? Follow through. I tend to struggle with follow through personally. I'm really good at quick start though, right? Really good at getting excited. So the third one is quick start. These are many type A entrepreneurs, many serial entrepreneurs, lots of successful internet entrepreneurs who are willing to break new ground and get things started quickly and try and not be as wrapped up in bringing things to completion. If something sucks and it doesn't work, they can kind of move on a little bit faster because they get their lift, they get their juice, they do their magic. People who are high in quick start, they do their magic getting a new project off the ground, getting a new team fired up, getting a bunch of new things happening, and solving some new problems, working on some difficulties or challenges. Right?
You know, what's interesting, though, is when you start to think about building out a team around this, and instead of, you know, we tend to gravitate and think people like us are the best. And, you know, that makes sense because we know ourselves and so we can relate to people that can relate to us. But when it comes to building out a business-wise, it was really kind revolutionary, what Sullivan calls a unique ability team that actually augments where you're weak and they're strong. So there's what I call stupid human trick is, in your, I'm a basket case piece of work area. The only thing that I think is challenging about that, frankly, is if you're the leader and the manager and the visionary of the business, managing that can be frustrating in
Oh
my
yeah.
experience.
Hmm.
If you're not prepared for it. I mean, it's awesome if you can leave a certain amount of autonomy and, if your tendency is not, and I'm speaking to myself now, to micromanage a bit and,
Oh yeah. A
you know,
lot. Yeah. I'll micromanage the Jesus right at almost any situation.
yeah. And that's a
So
problem, right? If you're gonna delegate and really truly let people be in their stupid human trick and realize that shit, even though I'd like to micromanage this and I'd like to think that I'm excellent at this, or maybe I am excellent at it, but I hate doing it, that
yeah,
perhaps
the key is
somebody that is loves doing it, that can't get enough of it, that gets filled with energy when they do it, let them figure out the best way to do it and stay the hell out of it.
I try to I bounce back and forth between my coach hat and my team captain hat when working with my team, because on the coach side of things, running just made, like, this cross country running, it made such a big impact on my life during high school and college. I tend to look at a lot of things through that lens. And so it's
Right.
like, you got a coach of a team. Often the coach is no longer like the fastest runner on the block, right? The coach has gotten a little older, right? They have a lot of experience. They used to kick ass. They used to win races, but like now they're coaching high school cross country or they're coaching college cross country, right? And they usually can't run circles around you. Yeah, but they have so much experience and they've worked with so many people and they've seen so many
Right.
teams.
Right.
Their job isn't to be the fastest. Their job is to transfer the knowledge and the experience to you so you can be your absolute best as a independent runner on a team of runners.
Right.
But the team is only as successful as the individuals are successful with running. It's a different type of team sport, and so you need to teach people how to kind of run on their own, but be supportive of each other.
Yeah.
And as a team captain, as someone who has a place on the team, which in the guru business, you have a place on the team, right? If you are the guru and you're the face of the company or you're creating the products that you're selling, right, with your face on it, then you're the team captain. You're not the coach. You're in the race, right? And
Right.
you need to do your absolute best and inspire and motivate and cheer the rest of your team on to do their
Yeah.
absolute best,
And I'm glad that you said, in that order, what you said, inspire and motivate. And I think there's a big distinction there because, if you can empower people and inspire them from an internal, to step into their greatness and have that be in alignment with what you're trying to do, it's very different than trying to motivate somebody, because that's going to fade as soon as, the exterior the exterior stimulus fades, right?
That's
So,
right.
I think that's why people that are motivation junkies end up, feeling like they need to get self-motivated or they need to find something to motivate them. Yet it's always outside of yourself unless you can, have it come. So, the challenge, frankly, from the internal, that I can see, being that team captain or leader and being in the business as well as leading it and inspiring it and coaching from it, is to coach and inspire people to grow into their best and trust that it's going to be in alignment, or if it isn't in alignment with what you're trying to do, that you all can leave and part ways on happy notes, and that you wish them well.
That's the thing. When you're building your team for your business, I'll tell you one thing. You're going to run into your employees in the future. Okay, so whether they're freelancers, whether they're employees, whether they're strategic partners, whether they're joint venture partners, are we still streaming successfully right now?
I think so. You froze on my end for a second.
Yeah, everything's froze on my end for a second, but we can still hear each other. So I'm going to keep talking and hope for the best. Hopefully, Restream will catch up with us here soon. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Like, say something every now and again.
I was just checking Facebook to see where we're at, but like
Cool.
I'm frozen on Facebook right now. I don't know if it's live or not.
We're good again. I think Restream is just getting a little clogged up today. It's okay. They'll make it
Okay.
through.
All right.
By the way,
sounds
Kevin,
good.
Kevin, I know what you're talking about now. Like Tom Beal's awesome. He's a friend, but let's leave his Kolbe score out of the conversation. If he shows up, that's cool. But like, if you don't want to share yours, don't share yours in public. It's cool, but like, no reason to be all weird about it. I don't even remember what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Team building and wishing, and you're going to run into your employees and your team.
Here's what's going to happen. You're going to build a team, and your business is going to grow, and you're going to make a bunch of money, and it's going to do really well, and then sooner or later you're going to have to fire somebody, and it's going to suck. And maybe it's because they're being a slacker. Maybe it's because they did something that you thought was unethical or not in alignment. Maybe they were uncool to another teammate or whatever. I mean, there's all sorts of stupid reasons that like team members can come and go, right?
Right.
But always, always, always do your absolute best to treat everybody as well as you possibly can. And if it's time for a teammate to go, try to hook them up.
Yeah.
With like another situation. Let them know, unless they just totally fucked you, right? I mean, let them know, like, hey, your skill set, your ability, things are shifting. It doesn't make sense to keep you on the team, which is a wicked bummer. Okay, but we've all been feeling the tension and awkwardness for a while. This is part of the deal. So I'd like to help transition you out of the team in the best way I possibly can. And I'd like to talk with you about what would be a more ideal position with a more ideal company in the future for you, so I can keep my eyes and ears open.
Right.
A situation, and I would love to write you amazing, glowing letter of recommendation, or multiple if you need it, in order to help you really get hooked up with a better position for you that would really help you to grow and blossom within your talents or skill sets.
Right.
Just saying that, even if you never actually need to do anything, just giving that offering when you have to fire
and
somebody.
being sincere about it, being real about it.
Yeah, if you just hate their guts, you probably don't want to do this. But
you don't want to say it because it will not come across.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, generally speaking, like a teammate is like a friend, and if you can even if you're not going to keep hanging out, if you can leave the friendship on a positive note, believe me, you're going to bump back into these people 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and they might be the person that's bridging the gap for you in the most amazing deal of your life, right? All because you treated them well on the way out. And so your team is awesome, super important.
Everybody's evolving, yourself included, your business included, and your team included. And so the challenge is it evolving and growing in the same way and in the same direction as it shifts and as it's its own ecosystem.
That's right.
And being okay when not like this is, and I'm talking to myself more than anybody else, being okay when that shifts and reminding yourself and them that, it doesn't make you, them, the business a bad or a wrong situation. It's just that we've expanded, we've evolved, and we're going in different directions. Let me see if there's something that I can do on your behalf to find you as a home in the place, in the way that you're evolving. Mm-hmm. And like that.
And so it all comes back down to, how do you build your team? And so the Kolbe tests are one filter to do that. I found them to be a good filter. And I think it's about $50 plus or minus to take your Kolbe Index A. I would recommend it, KOLBE.com. I have everyone that I'm going to work with either as what's up? Hello.
Analysis. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hello.
I can. I can hear you now.
I was just going to say the disc analysis is also beneficial for team building at the same time as the Kolbe is too.
Yeah, I mean, I've played with disc a little bit a long time ago, not enough to really remember much about it. But I have found Kolbe to really be really helpful when I'm looking at working with a new freelancer, working where anyone I'm going to be working directly with, right? Or if the team is big enough and I'm responsible for the team, or I form the team, right? Then I'll look at everybody's Kolbe scores and even if they're not a perfect match Kolbe wise, I'll look at them and think, oh, here are some potential conflicts between these two people, or here's some ways that these two people might be able to work really well together, or whatever. Yeah. For knowledge and awareness around how the work dynamic, might work, or what might be frustrating around it.
Yeah,
very, very good stuff.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I'm a big fan of the strength finders for the same reason, because of the way that it really plays up everybody's strength and their unique combination that makes them strong in certain areas. And I like that because it really gives me a clearer grasp of where they are strong, where I feel like every time I look at a Kolbe, I've got to really dissect it to understand how it fits in. But with the strength finders, it as soon as you see the profile, you immediately know what somebody's really, really good at, and you can kind of mold accordingly. So that's why I personally, it just fits better with my approach and my profile.
That's right. That's right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm finding that people were way more fired up to talk about their Myers-Briggs results than their Kolbe results here. Yep. Fascinating. For whatever reason. Who knows what the reason is?
Well, I mean, it could be just simple timing. It could be that, it's just not as well known and hot button as the Myers-Briggs, because the Myers-Briggs got right out of the gates, like boom, ba-dum, 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 like very, very strong involvement and interaction and so on. So
on that note, let's give you guys a marketing tip. So feel free to copy this. Like, this is a swipe and deploy thing, because honestly, I'm in no way, shape, or form like we're not the first people to do this at all. We just happened to try something that worked really well. So
and today, judging by interaction, not so much so.
That's right. Well, yeah, again, there's so many factors, right? Sometimes it's all organic. Sometimes it's the Facebook algorithm. Who knows what's at play?
Yeah.
But what I do know is that if you, I did a little post. It's a really simple Facebook post, and it's one of my question posts, except it's possibly the shortest one ever, where you're right. We were going to talk about zodiac signs and entrepreneurship. Got distracted, Marilyn. We're going to have to do that one in a future live stream. I'm going to have to get a entrepreneurial astrologer on the line and do some, that's fascinating.
And we can do that along, like how about where wooey wooey meets the real world, like how to blend the two together, because I'm a big fan of the Dan Millman stuff, and that profile has been equally beneficial to me, as that in conjunction with the strength finders has been like my self-discovery.
I haven't checked out the Dan Millman stuff, but we could totally get a tarot card reader to go in and do tarot card readings on your business, on the future of your business. How awesome would that be? It'd be great. I'm going to find an entrepreneurial tarot card reader or something. It'll be good. It'll be really fun. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a serious entrepreneur and you can talk entrepreneur, right? Legitimately. If you're pretending, don't say yes. But if you can speak like an entrepreneur speaks, and you understand the issues that entrepreneurs are sensitive to and they're
facing,
and you're like a palm reader or a tarot card reader, or you read the runes, or you have some sort of
Energy,
psychic
energy. Yeah.
and you could do entrepreneurial psychic entrepreneurial readings. We're going to bring you on a live stream, and it's going to be awesome. So pipe up. And if you don't know, if you aren't that person and you know who is, like, tag them in the comments and tell them to, like, send me a private message or something. It'll be great.
Oh, we just got somebody's very close to your Kolbe profile. Clinton from inside the Art of Email Marketing group says he's a 2395.
Oh, Clinton, I'm so sorry, dude. Like, that's a that's a rough hand. Like, you're gonna have a lot of crap to deal with. I'm kidding. It's nice to have someone share my struggles.
I feel your pain.
That's right. Maybe you feel my pain. I don't know.
Depends on how it depends on how empathetic you are, because you don't have the F's in your Myers-Briggs. You've got the T.
That's right. I don't need any F's around here. I don't give any F's. So funny.
Funny.
So, all right. Awesome. So, I want to know, for those of you who are watching, what do you sell? Right? People who are watching the live or the replay, I want to know specifically, what product or service do you sell? Anyone can attach emotions to what they sell, and maybe that's ultimately the high that you're giving people when they buy your product or service, and that's cool. But, like, what are you actually selling? What's the product or service that you sell? I'm very curious who's paying attention, who's tuning in, who's interested in the topic. I sell online hypnosis, personal development programs, and advanced email marketing training. That's what I sell, right? What do you sell, Joshua?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I sell, I don't know. I mean, like, I sell so much shit, but it's mostly client work. It's mostly working directly interaction with people on a one-to-one basis, based upon what their needs are, and either business development. But for me, it all comes back to, their inner growth journey prior to. That's the real breakthroughs that need to happen. I can give them all the business and marketing breakthroughs necessary, but in terms of deploying them and getting the results that they want to get, for me, it always comes back to, prosperity consciousness and helping them break through those limiting barriers that they don't even know that is holding them back.
That's right. That's right.
Car parts and insurance lead gen. Business coach. I help entrepreneurs live their dream life. Cool.
Awesome. Car parts must be Muhammad, huh?
Yeah.
Muhammad
He tuned in real early on. Yep, that is Muhammad. Because we talked with him in depth the other day, right? Like a week or so ago.
Yeah, Muhammad, have you implemented any of the Jeep awesomeness we spoke about? Like, we just, like, gave you a gold mine, a digital gold mine, just, like, dumped it on your lawn. Like, have you mined that gold yet? I want to hear. Let's see. Bum. Who is it that is the business coach? Who are you?
I was just looking.
Clinton.
It's inside the Art of Email Marketing group, so it doesn't show, for privacy reasons, the name of the person.
Got it. Very cool. Yeah, I hope Restream is able to, like, work around that at some point. It's kind of silly.
I think it has to do with your privacy settings for the group itself.
In the group, I bet you it does. That's exactly what it has to do with. Crap. Alas and alack. All right, yeah, because we don't want to be exposing everybody's posts out there to the world,
right?
If they're not members of the group, right?
Right. Muhammad is saying yes. Wheelio will update you in a week. I'm going to add T-shirts as well for the car parts. Cool.
Awesome, dude. You could totally. Oh my gosh, Muhammad, check this out. It's so silly, but you could crush it. So I want you to imagine, like, Instagram, and you know, all the Instagram filters and the beautiful pictures that are on Instagram. I mean, that's basically what Instagram's all about, right? Is pretty pictures. So can you imagine taking an Instagram photo, like or having someone who's really good at taking striking social media photos, taking an Instagram photo of like a catalytic converter, okay? Or taking an Instagram photo of like a Jeep Wrangler 1989 heat shield. Or like the close-up of a windshield wiper. And then taking these beautiful photos and printing them on t-shirts. And upselling people to a beautiful t-shirt of the car part that they just purchased. It would be awesome. People would fall in love with buying these super beautiful Jeep part t-shirts. They'd walk around with their... I don't even know anything about cars. I can't even talk like a mechanic. But I think, hopefully, the idea is coming through. What do you think, Joshua?
Yeah, I get. I think I get what you're saying.
No,
But,
like just a beautiful, striking image of car part X, Y, or Z, right? And you know, and like you don't even need to deal with the Jeep logo or the trademark infringement. You're just taking a beautiful photo and printing it on a shirt.
right.
Like print it on a white shirt. People would love it. Like, especially people that love fixing their own Jeeps. They would totally walk around wearing Jeep parts. Oh, or print it on a black shirt. Print it on a black shirt, maybe. That would probably be the key.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Jeeps, though. I mean, like, it's such an inner circle type club feel to it. Yeah, that Gene says sounds like something that would be fun to make, for sure.
That's right. Good morning, Gene. Hi, Gene. You know what? Speaking of hi, Gene, you want to hear something funny? I had a fellow copywriter. I'm not going to mention her name because I didn't ask permission, but a fellow copywriter who really wants to take the mascot method program that texted me this morning. She was like, "Is your course ready? I want to be a toothbrush when I grow up." And I thought that was really funny because of hygiene.
That's awesome.
That's it.
What a great way to approach it too. That's
very cool. Very cool. Gene says, yeah, sounds like something that would be fun to make. Totally fun. And then the Facebook user, Mohammed, I suppose, says, I'm building a forum too. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I mean, do you use Facebook much for advertising, Mohammed? If so, I mean...
he said it's primarily Google AdWords, I believe.
I don't remember. Yeah. I mean, consider building a Facebook group, right? I mean, hey, maybe a forum would be the answer. I guess that I'm sure there are markets where forums are still very active.
Building a Jeep, a group around Jeep owners on Facebook would go bananas. I mean, forget about. Like you'd get all sorts of Jeep enthusiasts, and I mean, if nothing else, you could make a lucrative side business selling, little mugs and keychains and T-shirts.
I don't know if this. I mentioned this I think the other day because it was just a funny rhyme, but you could totally create a group called Jeepers Creepers and have people just post the craziest Jeeps, like the craziest, most eccentric, most over the top, most spooky, most weird, like Jeepers Creepers, like the most over-the-top Jeep picks, just for extreme Jeepers. What do people that are into Jeeps call themselves? Do they have a name for themselves?
I don't know personally. Maybe they do, but what I just noticed is the day that I bought my Jeep and I was driving it home from the dealership, like every Jeep owner that passed me were like either giving the cool wave out the door, out the window, lifting their two fingers off the steering wheel, whatever, and it was. It was just very astounding to me. And then when I met Eric Stafford, this was like probably a year or 2 years after I had owned the Jeep, and I met Eric Stafford. He owned a Jeep. I don't know if he still does. And we became good buds. And he said, "Hey, have you noticed that you're now a member of the Jeep Club?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, like he immediately.
Okay, that's it. The Jeep Club. That's what it's called. You're right. Dude, gold mine. I know you were going to call it Jeepers Life, Mohammed. Don't. Call it the Jeep Club, in my absolutely 100% certain opinion. I know everything about you and your business, and you should do everything that I say without questioning it. Do it now. But seriously, it's a pretty good idea. Joshua, that was good. The Jeep Club. That really boils it right down.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, like, it was just so funny to me that not only did he say that, but like he knew what I must have been experiencing. I was like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, it's like amazing, like what happens the instant that you start. Like, I never noticed it before. I never, and how many times did I pass a Jeep? Well, I've wanted a Jeep my whole life,
You could start not only a Facebook group or whatever other thing called the Jeep Club. If it got big enough, you'd totally get sued by Jeep, but it might be worth it. So what if I'm thinking about like a Patreon that's all about just like honoring the Jeep. Like someone that just creates Jeep
Owners United.
Jeep shit. Like Jeep
Did you Jeep yet?
art, right? Like
Jeep yet?
I don't know. Could you start? I mean, this is questionably ethical, or certainly questionably questionable. Is like, could you start something called the Jeep Club and like roll out a Patreon and like have a Jeep poster that
Well, I'm quite sure that the word Jeep is trademarked. I'm quite sure it's a registered trademark.
Of course, so like, if you sell, I don't know, if the whole goal is selling Jeep parts, would they give a crap? I don't know. But it'd be worth. So don't take any of my advice with the word Jeep, and then blame me for it if you get sued. This is not legal advice. This is brainstorming, ideation. Come up with your own ideas. Use at your own risk. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I know you do. But I want to make sure it's recorded and everybody else knows that too.
Yeah.
Because I can't publicly tell you to use the Jeep trademark and like act like that's just an okay thing to do. Totally not. But wouldn't it be interesting if you got away with it? I mean, it would be kind of interesting, right?
You just can't resist, can you?
I can't. I bet that there are lots of things that are Jeep oriented, just like all of the fan fiction that's out there around characters, all the like spin-off Harry Potter books written by people that have nothing to do with,
Yeah, that doesn't, I don't get how that happens. Like I've seen some books advertised by authors that I really dig, and some of the characters that I love in the recurring in the books. And then you see a recommended book like that, and I get excited because, it's another, and then I look at it, I'm like, it's not even written by the same person. No, thank you. It's not even the same author.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is there's a certain, different businesses and different industries have tolerance for, and different individual business owners have a different degree of tolerance and attitude toward copycats. And in particular, copycats who aren't just trying to steal the business, but who are trying to kind of honor the original creation. And so it's like,
the problem is that they've got to go after both, right?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, right? Who are their lawyers going to go after? They're going to go
deep pockets. But if they want to be able to defend the trademark downstream, it's like Jimmy Buffett with Margaritaville, right? If he doesn't go after the mom and pop that's doing it, that's struggling, then and he only goes after the conglomerates that are trying to take over, then he sets a precedent that he loses the trademark.
Right. So it's a mess. It's a mess.
In my expert legal advice and rocket scientist, NASA engineering degrees, as Kern used to say.
Right. Yeah. Well, neither one of us are attorneys on this, in case that hasn't been made
abundantly clear.
Absolutely apparent. Yeah. But it is interesting stuff to consider. It really is. And one way or the other, I really would encourage you to make it all about the Jeep.
Well, he just said, I mean, he registered, I'm assuming, the Jeep Club, and then he said, I'll take that risk. So
yeah, and again,
I mean,
it all comes back down, like, if all signs point to you selling Jeep parts, honestly,
Well, and if all the group is in the immediacy is Jeep owners talking about other cool, and then
Right.
they become the first choice in car parts, or in replacement parts when necessary, or when you
Joshua, I think you dropped again.
back though.
And he's back. Woo!
I think Restream is not liking me today.
I think it's time to take a nap. I think we should probably end this video, take a power nap, and
I have a ton of emails to answer.
yeah, holy smokes, that really worked well, huh? We sent an email out. Maybe we should tell these. You know what?
Let's wait.
You want to wait? I was thinking about reading the email to them.
Well, we don't know yet what we've got in terms of the overall results. We know
I'm
that.
not going to tell them the results.
Okay,
I'm not going to tell
then
them.
go for it.
Okay. Stand by. So I sent an email out earlier today. This is a collaboration by Joshua and myself. And to be fair, Joshua wrote most of this email. And we sent this out to my email list this morning, and we've been pummeled by responses. And I'd like to know, would you guys like to hear the email? I'm going and just opening it up here. There it is. Would you like to hear the email? If you would, the subject line was a secret invitation. A secret invitation. Is that something that any of you would be interested in perhaps receiving? Maybe. Hello? Anybody home? Is the thing on? Oh, I just totally smeared my webcam with pardon me.
That's why I had to put my camera so far away that I can't even reach it now.
That's right. It's good. It's good. Awesome. So I'm going to read it to you anyway. How about that? So the subject line, wait a minute. Okay, here we are. The subject line is a secret invitation. Dear you, dear first name, are you interested in being part of a special project we've been quietly developing for the last 5 months? Here's the big picture overview in 24 words. It's a hands-on, learn by doing process to grow your business or idea online using proprietary systems and proven frameworks for sustained success. Sound like a project you'd like to be considered for? Well, because of the highly personalized and customized nature of how we're facilitating this project, we're only looking for 12 additional entrepreneurs at this time. Interested? If so, all you have to do is reply back and I can send you the details. Can I ask you a quick favor though? Would you reply to this email and let me know either way? Tellman. So this is the email we sent out like 2.5 hours ago. We have an inbox that's filled with entrepreneurs who want to learn more. And so if you are interested, I'd like you to reply in the comments with the word bum, 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 interested. Right, interested. And then shoot me or Joshua a private message that also says interested, and we'll tell you a little bit more. So one thing that I'm absolutely willing to do is to I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it in
where the sun don't shine.
I stick it in the comments. And I'm also going to go and do the same thing in my personal feed. So yeah, if you are interested in hearing more about this project that Joshua and I have been working on to really help you grow and scale your business online, then type interested down in the comments below and shoot Joshua or I, whose ever system, profile, et cetera, you're actually watching this on. and reply in the comments with the word interested. Shoot us a private message, and we will pick up the conversation from there.
That's Mohammed FX.
What's that?
Mohammed FX that is interested.
Okay, awesome, Mohammed. Shoot me a private message as well.
Gene says not interested. You know, we've gotten a bunch of people saying thanks but no thanks, which is awesome too, because it's good to know who's who in the process.
Gene's already in the inner circle, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why she said snicker.
So, Gene, here's the real question: is why should a entrepreneur who's looking to really grow their business online, why should someone like that be interested in your not so humble opinion? I'm curious. Like, what's the biggest thing that working with us has done for you so far, Gene? I'm genuinely
not to put you on the spot, but we're gonna.
I totally to put you on the spot. I have no problem putting you on the spot. Like, I can totally be bad cop. It's good. It's a really bad time of the world to be bad cop, though. Maybe I don't want to be bad cop. No, I'm not going to be bad cop. I'm going to be good cop, and Joshua's going to be good cop too. Yeah, let's just not be cops.
Let's just be empowering. Period.
How about entrepreneurs? I'll be empowering entrepreneurs. Period. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. And instead of the hot seat, we can call it the empowerment seat or whatever.
I don't know. I want to call it the hot seat. Oh, we could call it the torture chamber.
All right, I'm gonna have to get a different background now.
That's right. All right, green screen. Gene says sound advice and guidance from the best. Period. So sweet. Thanks, Gene.
Thank you very much.
Very cool, guys. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. Kolbe was not nearly as exciting as Myers-Briggs, so that's fascinating. And what I would encourage you to do is to do a little test, a little Facebook post test. You can copy me. You can copy Joshua. We typed in our Myers-Briggs code, okay? So all caps, blah, 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 whatever mine was, INTP or something. And then underneath it, and I did this with one of those square image posts on Facebook. You can do them from your laptop. You can do them from your phone. And then underneath that, in parentheses, it says you, question mark, in lowercase, YOU, question mark. And it's a great way to get a quick read on people who are interested in Myers-Briggs and what their scores are. You can open up conversations about it if you're familiar with Myers-Briggs, and if you're not, you can spend an hour researching it online and get familiar pretty fast. And it opens the door for you to listen to your people and what's going on with them and who they are.
Did you find on your profile when you did that post, did you find that you got a lot of people that responded that had the same profile as yours? Because I took your recommendation and duplicated it myself, and I got many people that were excited to share that they were the same as what I had put down. So I'm just curious whether that appealed to people that are most like you type thing.
Yeah. So so far that post has 37 comments, and I have one who's an INTP, which is apparently what I am. And I got an INTJ coming in from John Cho, but I only got one INTP. Maybe it's more rare, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I have no idea if you look at all the scores from Myers-Briggs, I don't know what the most popular ones are, but that would be an interesting thing to look up.
Yeah. I got, let's see. The first one is actually an old friend of mine, Fawn. She puts down INTJ. I'm also INTJ. Jean, INFP. -A, which I'm not sure what the -A stands for, Gene. Maybe you can enlighten me. Ruby Davis said same. Don said INTJ, and I queer 3% of the pot. Yeah, I think you're right. It's I'm actually an INXJ, which means that I go back and forth between the T and the F. And
Wait, you're an IN.
I'm actually an INXJ, which means that I am equally pulling from the T and the F.
Either way, it's still just like 1 to 3% of the population, or like 2 to 4% of the population.
Yeah.
And INTP is just 3 to 5% of the population.
And Ted, whom we've spoken to several times, is also an INTJ. And Mike J says that he's OCD with sporadic ADD. That's hilarious.
Right. Not alone there. Holy crap! There's so many. Harris Fellman says IDRM. I don't remember mine. Helpful. Thank you, Harris.
Well, at least he's contributing, right?
If you want to call that a contribution. Harris is a good friend, everyone.
Were you born a dick?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if my mom had her way, my name would have been Richard. And I'm not lying.
What would your middle name be? Hertz?
Oh, I hope not. It's Harold right now. I'm glad it's not Hertz. That's a whole nother subject. I think we should probably wrap this call up. Let's see. Jonathan says INTP. The logician personality is fairly rare, making up only 3% of the population, which is definitely a good thing for them, as there's nothing they'd be more unhappy about than being called common from the 16 personalities. Thanks, Jonathan.
That's interesting, Gene. I didn't know that there was a difference after that. I wonder what the T and the A's stand for and how they affect the rest of your Kolbe, not your Kolbe, your Myers-Briggs profile. That's interesting. I've never heard that before. But that's maybe because I never got to the rest of the book.
Jonathan says they found that Kolbe was much more useful to him than Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Perspective. Very cool, guys.
I'm wondering, Jonathan, if you're still here with us, just curious, what are you using the Kolbe for? Is it personal that you found it more useful, or in terms of team building, or what aspect? I'm just kind of curious as to how you're using it. I'm an ENTP. The difference I linked in your post, but they are significant and useful for marketers to be aware of, for sure.
Awesome. All right, guys, rock and roll. Well, I think that's about it for now. And
yep.
If you guys want to be involved in our secret project, let us know by saying interested or shoot us a private message so that we can give you more info.
Yeah, are you going to follow up with Muhammad FX?
I sure am.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, everybody. I think that's all we need to talk about today. Thank you for joining us.
And for putting up with all the Restream clogginess.
Yeah, this is just part of the deal, everybody, in case you haven't picked up on that so far, especially when you're dealing with new technologies and everybody using them like crazy. Sometimes things get a little funky. It's all good.
Oh, just one more thing. Jonathan just posted Kolbe originally for productivity, life balance, making money. And then he said, good talk, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know.
Awesome.
And coming in.
Likewise, Jonathan. Out of curiosity, what do you sell? I would love to hear about it in the comments below. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Bye, guys.
Toodles.